Hello, my name is Debbie and I'm a practice nurse in London. Today I'm going to be talking about why GP nursing is not popular. Number one, it's traditionally known that, practice nursing is hard to get into, as many people say. And I strongly believe that this is due to the way it's advertised. Many a times when you want to look for a job, you go into NHS jobs as a nurse. But because of the way GP practices are run, they're like business. A lot of the roles are not on NHS jobs, and so this makes it a lot harder to find jobs. Some people are having to email practices, go into the practice directly, give a CV. I remember when I was looking for a practice nurse role, I emailed the lead nurse of my area asking her for, if she could put my CV forward, but she, turned me down and said that because I don't have experience in working in a GP practice, so she couldn't take me on. So it can be very difficult to find a job in practice nursing. If you don't know someone or someone didn't recommend it to you or give you the right websites to go to, it can be quite hard. So this might be one of the reasons why it's not a popular role. Number two, you could say that people tend to stay in their roles for a long time. Like, I'll be honest, I'm in a practice now and I don't see myself going anywhere else. And this can be a dilemma because unless someone is retiring or going on maternity leave or whatever the case may be, they're just not going to leave their role. Or if a practice is looking for an additional nurse, which is, not always the case, the longevity on the turnover rather is very low. So they don't always, I got my role because a nurse was retiring and it just so happened that another nurse was leaving. So it's not always that easy to get into because it's like a family. People tend to stay for many years. My colleague, she's been here for about 20 years plus. People just tend not to leave. Number three, I would say, which is something I've kind of touched on before, is that as student nurses, we're generally trained to be hospital nurses. We're trained to work on the ward. A lot of our placement is on the ward. And so we tend not to have the skills to work in a GP practice, and therefore makes us feel inadequate to even apply in the first place. We tend to write ourselves off being able to work in a GP practice before we've even tried to apply, and so that can make it very unpopular because we just feel like there's no point in applying. I'll go to the ward first, or I'll go to the community, I'll go anywhere else but the GP practice because they're just not going to take me, which is not the right approach to take, the right mindset rather to have towards a role, because I think anybody can go, and I can go into GP practice right after studying. I've done it, and I know a lot of other nurses that have done it also. Number four, which is something so popularly said, is descaling. People feel like once they go into practice nursing, they're going to de-skill, they're not going to be able to do, not be able to cannulate or put a catheter in, or, just so many things that they just feel like they're not going to be able to do anymore. And if you care about having those skills in your pocket, then by all means, do the roles that will get you those skills. But for me personally, I didn't really see the need or have the desire to want to cannulate or to be able to do a catheter. So I said I'll go to a GP practice whereby I can learn other skills, and unfortunately, like I said before, we're not trained to have those other skills like smears, immunizations, and so we feel like any other skill outside of the hospital skills is de-skilling, when really you're just learning new skills. And so yeah, it's important to just take away the fear of de-skilling and go for a role that you think will benefit you in the long run and that you will just enjoy. People love the wards, people love GPs, people love like neonatal. I was speaking to a friend the other day talking about I couldn't be a neonatal ITU nurse. I find that like it's so heartbreaking. Yet a neonatal nurse couldn't, do a smear because it's like, that's horrible. So just do what you like and find what you like to do. But because of everything that I said, it can be quite an unpopular choice to pick GP nursing simply because you feel like you're going to de-skill. and not be able to keep up with the skills that you already might have. Another reason why being a GP nurse is not always popular is because it's so looked down on sometimes. I remember when I told the nurses in the hospital when I was still studying, I was doing my placement, that I wanted to be a practice nurse. It was as if I got these looks, I got these comments that why are you gonna just go and sit down in a practice and you're gonna lose this and you're gonna do this and blah blah. It was just so looked down on and frowned on, and it's like it's almost so unconventional. People can't seem to comprehend, or old school nurses, let's say, can't seem to comprehend the fact that you can actually go in right after you studied. So it can become unpopular. But just my advice to anybody that wants to go into practice nursing, there is room here for everybody. You just need to find the right websites to look for jobs on. Just make sure that it's something that you like to do. Go on a placement or an outreach just to solidify whether it's your passion, whether you like it or not. And all the naysayers, people that think that because it's so interesting that people go on the ward, they work for 6 months and they find that, what, I don't like it, and they move on to something else, maybe go to the community. However, in practice nursing, it's very rare that you would see someone go into practice nursing for 6 months, hey ho, I don't like it. But I would encourage that. I would say, do you know what, if you think it's your passion or something that you might like, go and do it for a year, go and do it for 6 months, see if you like it. If you don't, your pin is your oyster, you can take it anywhere. So I would really encourage that. That let's make GP practice nursing popular again, because it's an amazing field of nursing.